Sawasdee welcome back to Thai League Central podcast. I'm Tala, of course, your host for this show. And wow, we've basically here today, my guest and I, it is Op, aka Tactic Times. Yes, he's finally back joining me on this pod. We're going to be discussing Matchday 10, a brief recap for you guys listening out there. And we're going to zoom our vision towards a very exciting match day 11, which will be not on True Visions anymore. Just making it clear for those who have True Visions. If you're at home at 6 p.m. looking through and asking yourself, why is there no Thai football? Because they're not there anymore. They're all now going to be on the 4 new channels, of course: NBT, MCOT Channel 9, the Channel 5, the Todd Ball channel, as well as Channel 7. So those are the 4 ways. They're free TV, so you should have them on your TV. Man, I've been rambling on too much, man. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. Ob, how are you doing?
Yep, I've been great. It's a busy day today. While we're recording, just did an interview with someone really special, and I can't wait to review what we have prepared for you guys in the future.
Yeah.
So keep in touch and go like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to us on YouTube as well.
Oh, for sure. There, he said it. He said it. This podcast will be out on Thursday, October 29. We recorded a night earlier, but the content that Op is talking about, that should be out either Thursday or Friday, before Saturday for sure. But it'll be either on the day you're listening to this pod or tomorrow. So make sure that you check that out. A very exclusive interview with someone who's getting a lot of attention right now in a good way. Anyways, Op, we're here to, before, previewing all the games that's coming up in match day 11, a little look back to match day 10. Now, this one had goals in every game. So there wasn't a game that it was a goalless draw. So basically, very cool weekend to wrap off True Visions and their coverage. True Bangkok finally getting the points after dropping 4 defeats in a row. Port and Buriram, that one I was there to see myself. A VAR fiasco. If you're into VAR and you're into the refereeing, waiting and delaying time and the fans shouting him to be faster, then Port and Buriram was the game to go to. The referee had a lot of action in that one. Elsewhere, Samut Prakan, Suphanburi, very silly last minute, I guess, an elbow to the face by Patiwat that cost the host the points there. Ratchaburi killed Rayong. Op, you're going to be talking in depth about this one. Sukhothai, BG. Of course, BG got that away 3-2 win. Gama still can't beat Trat this year, a draw as he starts his Buriram career. Chiang Rai, fantastic 3-0 away win at Chumri. And then, of course, Mario Rossi gets the things going at Muangthong with a big 3-1 away win to Puli. So, Op, your floor is yours. Sukhothai and BG will go in depth on this one. What do you see?
I think BG did what they had to do. It's the same BG, solid at the back and good enough going forward. I think we were a bit lucky that Sumanya scored within the first 13 seconds of the game.
Yeah.
And it's now 7 games against Sukhothai that BG haven't lost against them since 2016. It's great record, and things that like the squad. What I liked about that game is how players that came in kind of show their quality as well. Sliro Chatong had an alright game. Chatri was influential. There's like errors in his game, but I think he got away with it. And with maybe if Irfan back, we will be back to our best again. But yeah, I don't think it wasn't a bad loss or a humiliating loss for Sukhothai because they fought well. Ibsen Melo, such a threat with his pace and power, and almost scored like the 3-3 equalizer at the end of the game. when Chachai made like a bit of an error at the back. But Surapong Kongtae he wouldn't be too like pissed off about that defeat, I guess.
I thought it was a fantastic game. Watching it from a neutral's perspective, I thought that BG, like you said, they done what they had to. Basically, stay strong defensively. I know they conceded twice, but stay strong. And when you have the chance up front, you converted. Sumanya early on, they get that own goal going their way to make it 2-1. And then Siror with an absolute rocket. Now, for a player that doesn't get so many, starts for BG to get his opportunity and be able to make the most out of it, by playing pretty much a good game from his standards. So I thought his goal was absolutely vital, push BG to undefeated since, this entire season began. They're still the only undefeated team left. Sukhothai, they were undefeated coming out of COVID. Now this is finally their first defeat. So yeah, those are the main talking points there in that one. Another game I like to focus on, yes, Mario Gjurovski's opening game. He went away and got all 3 points to Police Hero. Now this one up, I'll ask you some questions as well, but before going to you, from my view watching this game, I thought I saw a different Muangthong side than I've seen this entire year. It's almost crazy to think, but in less than a week, Mario almost changed this Muangthong side to play similarly to the 13, 14, 15 years where he was still playing. A very attack-minded, players running and pressing, and just everybody looked happy in his system. You can see all the goals that Muangthong scored. They rushed to Mario. They pointed at him. They celebrated with him. The team has life again. While for Police Hero, when is Sumare playing? That's my question. When is he going to be fit enough to play? We've seen him in quarantine. He's been doing personal trainings. He's training with the team already for a week or 2 weeks. I don't know. But when is Rangsan going to give him the go sign? And, Police Hero, they've looked shaky in several games now where it seems like they're about to lose and then they don't. They've been lucky a few times, but this time they had no answers for Muangthong at all. And I want to ask you, is this Muangthong side going to be a threat going forward? Now, we're going to preview the Buriram game also in the spot, but how good is this looking for Muangthong with their new manager?
It's like, when Mario has like unleashed a cage tiger,
Yeah.
and if the players are crazy, you could see the fight, the hunger in their eyes. And words from the Muangthong camp is that the players are really happy and there's a trust between them and the manager, and they really enjoy and appreciate the freedom Mario gave them that game, that freedom and trust to show their quality. And I think the players prove Mario right by scoring 3 goals. 3 goals is not an easy feat to achieve against a solid team like Tero. Okay, like towards the last half an hour, Tero were going after the game as well. But again, it's a good and solid, disciplined Tero side. So yeah, I think Muangthong will be dangerous going forward.
Yeah.
But defense is a different issue. And on to Sumare. I love to see him play soon. I mean, if reports are to be believed, he also scored in a closed door friendly for Tero as well. So I think that's a good sign, and it's a good sign he's playing. And I hope Rangsan starts him. But to play devil's advocate, I think we could see that it's on a positive that Rangsan is not believing the hype. He's not following the hype and the demands. He's looking after the players first.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like Sumare, you will play, but you will only play when you're at your best.
Yeah.
So he doesn't come in under too much criticism. So it's not that bad that he's not playing, but
yeah,
I think we could all agree we would prefer to see him show his pace and skill.
Yeah, the Sumare story, I mean, it's a story that can basically take on its own podcast, just talking about him in Thai League and what that that impact is and everything. But he doesn't have long to go. I mean, there are rumors that he's gonna leave when it's New Year's. So I don't know if those are true, but I mean that's only leaves him 2 months left in Thailand to show his qualities. But back to Muangthong now. You see the goal scorers for this game, and it's like a perfect love story. Picha, he's been there all the time. He needs to finally get that first goal, and he does. Well, for William Pop, it's the same thing. Foreigner coming in. Basically, everybody's the media as well as lots of fans were saying he's going to be the next foreigner gone in Muangthong, and he comes up with two big goals to wrap all 3 points there. So yeah, that's it for the last weekend's preview, and we're moving on now to Saturday's action. Yes, this is finally match day 11. It's going to be a Friday night between Supan and Policero, while on Saturday it's going to start at 5 p.m. Singha Chiang Rai up north against BGPU. Then a super clash at 6 p.m. Buriram taking on SCG Muangthong, the derby. Yes, the derby. And also, I guess you can call this one a derby now. True Bangkok United, 6:30 taking on Port FC. So those are the three big ones there on Saturday. Action packed. I mean, I think that's absolutely a great weekend to look forward to. Other games as well. Rayon taking on Trat. This one, hey, who's gonna actually win this one? Rayon against Trat. This is sort of its big game in a way. You know what I mean? Like the big game down there. But no one's gonna really talk much about it. But I guess we should also keep an eye on it. And then finally on November 1st, all Sunday games. Swatkat, Korat taking on Prachuap, Samut Prakan taking on Sukhothai, and Chonburi against Radburi. So action-packed. We'll begin up. You take this one. Singha Chiang Rai against BG. Now, these two teams have something in common. They have a very similar sponsorship. A very, very similar sponsorship. Leo and Singh. They have that connection between them. How do you see this one playing on the pitch, though?
Wow. As a BG fan, going up north against Chiang Rai, it's always a tough away day. And looking at the past records, BG have only won once in the last 6 visits to Chiang Rai, and they've only kept the clean sheet once. So the records are not looking good. Although in the past 2 years, they haven't lost there, so it's a small positive.
Yeah.
But talking about clean sheets, we have I think I don't think I'm too giddy when I say we have the best defense in the league.
I agree.
Even without Irfan, our right wing back Santipap had a good game against Sukhothai. Left back Saharat Pongsuwan, really good, really aggressive, and the BG wing backs will play a crucial role against Chiang Rai, because with Chiang Rai they've got two big guys forward, Bill and Jaja, the two big Brazilian guys. So yeah, balls, the crosses from the flanks, we need to limit that. If BG needs to limit that, if they want to at least have a point.
Yeah.
But again, if you're going for a title, a point, I'm not sure a point against Chiang Rai is enough to be honest.
I honestly think this one, it has draw written all over. I think Chiang Rai has been so strong since coming out of COVID. They only lost that one game at home against, I believe it was, Buriram. They lost that one at home against Buriram. But after that, they've been phenomenal before and after. So I think Chiang Rai are capable of winning and taking care of BG at home. But at the same time, BG, you've seen it throughout the season. They've been so consistent. When there's some pressure applied on them, they're able to bounce back. When they need to defend, like in that last game against Sukhothai, they come up big. And when you're going attack, if you get goals going your way from Sumania or maybe a set piece, one of the two big center backs come up and score, as well as maybe if Sirot gets a good game, BG are capable of winning as well. So I think this one has draw written over. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. I think there'll be goals up. What do you think of that score line?
I think it's a draw, but things are a bit complicated in this game because if BG, it a lot depends on how Chiang Rai approaches this game. I am pretty confident Dusit would approach this like big match with a balanced approach. Basically, keep it tight at the back, but attack with full force. If Chiang Rai defend in their own home and look to like hit BG on a counter, BG would have a like no BG would struggle. But if Chiang Rai believe in the hype and the it, like oh we are if Chiang Rai approach this as the reigning T1 champions
Yeah.
and attack BG, that'll be their downfall. So a lot depends on how Chiang Rai approaches the game. Therefore, I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be a draw because both sides are gonna be cautious.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting point that people listening to this pod, as well as for me, for sure, I'm gonna start looking at that now. How Chiang Rai come out of the blocks, and if they go full attacking, or if they sort of sit back and be patient. Because yeah, you have the point there. I mean, they're playing at home, so maybe the incentive is to go out there and play attacking football. But yeah, at the same time, I could see them being very careful. So yeah, good point there, Ob. You got to be very cautious in the way that Chiang Rai approach this. Will they do it full on, or actually will they sit back? So interesting talking point there. We'll move on later on. This one's a 6 p.m. kickoff. The biggest game in every Thai league season, you can almost point out, is this one. Buriram United back at home against SCG Muangthong. Now, good news, I think we should have mentioned this earlier in the pod, but good news is that now the Thai COVID Center has allowed 50% at all the grounds in Thai league. So Buriram, massive stadium, they're going to get, I think, up to 16,000 fans in there. That's a lot. That's a lot of fans in one stadium for them. And every stadium now in Thai league, 50%, doesn't matter. You can exceed that 8,000 mark. They've already dropped that down. So, I think this one will be the highly anticipated game, most attended probably, you could say, this week, with all the post-COVID stuff. Now, they've met a lot. They met 20 times already in Thai league. Buriram won 8. There's 9 draws among them, and Muangthong has won 3 in Thai league. I think this is probably the most hyped game you could expect anybody to time it perfectly, because Gama swapped from Muangthong to Buriram in 1 week. Mario swapped from coaching, the youth team to coaching Muangthong in 1 week as well. So they've had basically an equal amount of time to look and to prepare for each other. How do you see this one going?
It's gonna be. It's so hard to predict after only one game. We've only seen them one game, but okay. What we saw from Muangthong first is Muangthong, by appointing Mario, they revert back to their attacking nature. They're playing on the front foot. Freedom for the midfield to create. Freedom for the strikers to go for goal. They score one, they go for the second. They score the second, they go for the third, so on and so forth. As for Buriram, appointing Gama also goes back to basic. This season we've seen Bunderwich trying to implement a back four system. Gama returning, comes with the back three is back again. Okay, like, but I think Buriram is missing that wing back option. I think they're really missing Sasalak Hypercone, someone who could progress with the ball, carry the ball forward. And Gorokot was really criticized heavily after his mistake, and he didn't really play well last week by the fan as well. So there'll be an area where Muangthong might look to hit, to exploit this weekend.
Yeah, I want to mention also, quickly, the style of play, because you're into tactics and things like that. But the style of play between this, if if Gama goes defensive, like he is, he's quite careful in the way he sets up, and Muangthong with Mario go attacking. So instead of the home team being the one attacking, this one the away team attacking. How do you see that battle going?
it's it's gonna be like it's how do we say this? It's a sword who could cut everything against a shield who could block everything. Who's gonna win?
Yeah.
That's how it's gonna go. Muangthong does have a good attack. We've seen last week against Tero. If that is the real William Pop, then there's a good player in there. Mursayev is a good player.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, who else? Pichai had a good game. I think he
Yeah.
won man of the match as well. We've got Sahalat, the attacking midfielder they just bought from Rayong, who had a good. So he played well in the friendly midweek. He and when he came on last week, he looked hungry to play. So these attacking options could exploit Buriram, who's pretty weak down the flanks and in like the defensive midfield area. Because Akbar, their news that Akbar is doomed. Okay, I'm not gonna try to pronounce his name, but Akbar, yes, the new signing. He's really good. I'm a big fan of him, but I think he's injured or he's not fully fit, and it's not looking good for Buriram. But I think Gama would go pragmatic. He'll look to keep it safe and tidy at the back and hit back. He'll hit Buriram. Oh no, hit Muangthong on the break with the pace of Super Chok and Supanat. I think those two Thai players would be the game changer. And I hope GD Kanyuk starts because that guy is he could be the main creative force of the team. He'll be really useful in counter-attacking situations.
Yep. Fantastic stuff there. Let's keep it nice and simple. I'm going to go with a 1-0 Buriram win. I think Buriram has enough. It's at home as well. So I'm going to go with a 1-0 Buriram win. I don't think Muangthong have that. I don't think they've gelled. They've looked good against Police Taro, but Police Taro didn't play well either. I think there's more in it this season for Buriram than Muangthong. Like Buriram has more pressure to do well this season with their team and how Gama is taking over now. So I think the pressure's there and I think they will deliver. So 1-0 for Buriram. How about you?
I don't think Buriram will lose. And if they win, it's gonna be by a 1-goal margin. However, if we see an early goal in the first, 10-15 minutes, I could see it be, especially if it's Buriram scoring, I could see Muangthong going full out attack, and then it's gonna be goals like left, right, and center.
Yeah,
it could be like those all out crazy game. So, but Buriram won't lose, or maybe.
So score prediction.
1-0 Buriram.
Okay.
90 minutes goal.
All right. All right. Last but not least, this one kicking off a little later on Saturday. It's a 6:30 kickoff. True Bangkok United taking on Port. So this one, looking earlier at the season, they were up there in the standings, first, second, or third. Now Port is actually back in fourth place, and they have 19 points, while True Bangkok, they bumped out of top four. Now they're in sixth place with 16 points. So only 3 points in between them. Port still have that game in hand against Muangthong, but this one could cause a lot of change in the standings, especially not a lot of games left to go in ACL. So the stats I was looking at, we were talking before, surprisingly, it's all headed towards True Bangkok United. But if you look at the meetings, the latest one, that was of course the rainy FA Cup semi-final that went for Port's favor. So in the league, True Bangkok have a better record, but in the cups, like last year and a few years before, we've seen that Port can do a few things as well. So how do you see this one playing out? It's at Thammasat though.
If you ask me, like, when's the time for Port to break that horrendous spell, I think it's this season. I'm not convinced with how Bangkok United is playing or how they played last week against Nakhon Ratchasima. In the last two games, Port FC has scored 9 goals in 2 games, and seven of them is against a relegation struggling Rayong FC side.
Mm-hmm.
But nevertheless, it's proved that they have a good attack, which we actually, well, it's something we already know. And be from if we if we look at last game, BU last game, they played with a really defensive and safety first option at
Mm-hmm.
fullback left. Like Mika start on the right, and
Yeah.
on the left it's Putinan. And I'm not sure it's gonna work against Port FC, and at home as well. So I think it's Port could win this if they're not,
Yeah.
no, if they could avoid silly mistakes. Then I think it's this game is for Port FC to be won.
The thing with Porto, I'm not sure how hurt Heberty Fernandez is. He limped off and he had to be subbed off in the last game against Patriots. So that might affect a little bit on how they play. Sergio Soares, yeah, he's in good form. I think Adisak scoring again. Yeah, Port has a lot of options going forward. But at the same time, I feel like this one might be a very attacking game because True Bangkok, they have fast pacey, offense as well. So I think this one there'll be goals in it for sure. I think Port have more pressure than BU to perform given the amount of investment they had this year. BU's been BU will have pressure as well, but it's a different kind of pressure. It's a more like we've started the season so well and we've fallen off pressure. So it's the pressure to improve on what they're doing. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go the home side. I'm gonna trust BU in this one to not lose. So I'm actually gonna go a 3-3 draw. I think there'll be goals in it, but I can't see a
Whoa.
winner. Just I usually don't like predicting draws, but this week it's just so tough. So I'm gonna go 3-3. How about you?
I'll go with 2-1 Port FC. With
Okay.
Port FC like leading 2 goals and BU trying to chase the game.
All right. There you have it. Well, those are our content, of course, for this week's podcast. We got the recap, we got the preview, as well as the predictions underway. So thank you so much for joining us. Till next time, peace.